Okay, let's move to the second section of our lecture, assessment of hearing. And in this section, we will talk about some clinical tests. Clinical tests performed for the assessment of hearing are usually the finger friction test, watch test, and speech test, and tuning fork tests. So the clinical tests for hearing are finger friction test, then we have watch test, speech test, tuning fork test, and then in the tuning fork test we have Rhine test, Weber test, absolute bone conduction test, schwa test, Bing test, and Gelle's test. All these are the clinical tests performed for the assessment of the hearing. Finger friction, watch, speech test, and then tuning fork. When we use the tuning fork for the assessment of hearing, different tests are performed for that purpose. Very commonly, Rhine's test and Weber test are very commonly performed in the clinic for the assessment of the hearing. But also the other tests like schwa, Gelle's, and absolute bone conduction tests are also performed. So finger friction test and watch test are very simple tests. In one, the finger is rubbed or snapped. Snapping of the finger and thumb is usually performed close to the patient's ear, and then patient is asked to tell the doctor when they start hearing or when they hear the rubbing or snapping of the fingers. So it's a very simple test. And in the watch test, the clicking watch is slowly bring close to the ear, and then patient is asked to tell the doctor when they start hearing, and then the distance is measured at which the hearing is possible. So both tests are simple tests, finger friction and the watch test. So clicking watch brought close to the ear and distance at which heard is measured. So doctor tells the patient to tell them when they start hearing the click of the watch, and the distance at which they start hearing is measured. Then the speech or voice test is usually is performed, and the normal person start hearing the conversational voice usually at about 40 feet distance or 12 meter, and whisper, usually the whisper is heard at about 6 meter or 20 feet distance. That's for the normal person who hears normally. So conversational sounds and whispering, it's a halfway difference between the two. One is at 40 feet, one is at 20 feet. 6 meter is taken as normal, which is the whisper, normal person at which the normal person start hearing the whispering. Conducted in quiet surroundings, there should be no noise. Patient should be in quiet environment, so there should be no distraction. Patient stands with his test ear towards the examiner. So patient should have the testing ear towards the examiner. And eyes are shielded. Eyes are shielded away, so they should not be do the lip reading to prevent any lip reading. Non-test ear is blocked by intermittent pressure on the tragus. So tragus, intermittent pressure, usually the ear is blocked. So slowly the the person or examiner slowly walk towards the patient and they keep saying the spondy words or numbers and gradually walks towards the patient and asks the patient to tell the doctor when they start hearing the voice. So important thing is patient should be, or the environment should be quiet. The face should be away to avoid any lip reading, and slowly the examiner start walking and they keep saying the spondy words or numbers and tell the patient to tell the examiner when they start hearing the sound. Next, the tuning fork test. This is the tuning fork very commonly used for the different hearing tests performed in the clinic or office setting. This is the position of the tuning fork for air conduction. Then this is for the bone conduction. Bone conduction, this is the mastoid bone on the back of the ear. For bone conduction, the vibrating tuning fork is placed on the mastoid process. And this is the Weber test. This is the position of the tuning fork for the Weber test is placed in the hair on the head or above the forehead, in the middle of the above of the forehead. So this is the three positions for the tuning fork. Rheine's test. Rheine's test is the test in which is performed to test the air conduction or the bone conduction of the patient. Normally, the air conduction is longer than the bone conduction. So first, the tuning fork is vibrated in the Rheine's test. The tuning fork is set into vibration by tapping it forcefully against the palm or any other object, and then once it's set into vibration, you put in front of the patient's ear and ask the patient to tell you when they stop hearing the sound. So usually the air conduction is longer than the bone conduction. So in the Rheine's test here, if there is air conduction is longer than the bone conduction, it's normal. In sensory neural hearing loss, the air conduction is greater than the bone conduction. Air conduction is more than the bone conduction, pretty much the same as the normal. But in conductive deafness, if there is problem in the conduction, the bone conduction will be more than the air conduction. That's diagnostic of the conductive hearing loss. So Rheine's test, let's see how you perform the Rheine's test. Rheine's test, once the tuning fork is set into vibration, you put the tuning fork here on the back in the mastoid process of the patient, and you ask the patient to raise the finger once they stop hearing the sound. So once they stop hearing the sound, the patient raised the finger, then you put that vibrating tuning fork in front of the ear. Patient normally should be hearing the vibration of the tuning fork once you put it in front of the ear, because the air conduction is more than the bone conduction. If the patient is not hearing the vibrating tuning fork once you put it in front of the ear, it means the patient has conductive hearing loss, or there is some obstruction in the external ear or the middle ear that is causing conductive hearing loss. So the assessment after this is that if the air conduction is more than the bone conduction, the patient might have normal hearing or might have sensory neural hearing loss. But if the bone conduction is more than the air conduction, it means the patient has conductive hearing loss. Next, to differentiate, after the Rheine's test, the Weber test should always be performed. And this tells us which ear has the problem, or which ear has the conductive or sensory hearing loss. In this, we place the tuning fork on the bridge of the forehead, nose, or teeth. Usually, bridge of the forehead is the common side to use. And this tells us which ear usually the lateralization or the sound goes to. In normal patient or patients with normal hearing, usually there is no lateralization. You ask the patient if they hear the sound louder in any ear, they will say no, they don't. So there is no lateralization. That's the normal response. In unilateral conductive loss, if patient has conductive hearing loss, then there is lateralization to the affected side. Lateralization to the affected side, that's conductive. And in unilateral sensory neural loss, there is lateralization to the normal ear. So that's the function of the Weber test. It is used to find out that whether the ear which has the problem or hair loss, it has conductive or sensory neural hearing loss. In case of conductive hearing loss, the lateralization of the sound is to the affected ear. The patient will tell that I hear louder in the affected ear. And then in case of sensory neural hearing loss, the patient will hear loud in the normal ear. So that's Weber test. Next is the absolute bone conduction test. Is the test for bone conduction. It is used for conductive deafness. Patient and examiner hear fork for same duration of time. So for absolute bone conduction test in conductive deafness, what happens, patient and examiner will both hear the tuning fork for the same duration of time. And in sensory neural type of deafness, patient hears the fork for a shorter duration. So it's the test performed between the patient and the doctor or the examiner. So once the patient stop hearing the sound from the bone, at the same time doctor puts it on his or her mastoid process, and if they are not, if he or she is not hearing and it's for the same duration, then its patient has conductive deafness. If in the sensory neural, patient hears the fork for the shorter duration of time. So that's absolute bone conduction test. Next is the Schwa-Bach's test. Schwa-Bach's test is the bone conduction. BC is the bone conduction of patient is compared with that of normal hearing person, examiner, and this meatus is not occluded. So what happens in normal, both the bone conduction is normal between the examiner and the patient. Conductive deafness, it's lengthened, and in sensory neural deafness is shortened. So that's Schwa-Bach's test. It's lengthened in conductive deafness, the comparison between the examiner and patient, and in sensory neural deafness, the hearing is shortened. Next is the Gelle's test. It's the test in which the intra pressure in the external hair canal is increased by increasing pressure in the external auditory canal with sagittal speculum. Sagittal speculum is a speculum in which has the ear speculum with the tube attached to it, and there is a pressure pump. You inflate the air, and that increases the pressure inside the external auditory canal or external ear. So by raising the pressure in the external ear with the help of sagittal speculum, the pressure is increased, and this increased pressure, what does it do? It pushes the tympanic membrane and ossicles inward as a result of the pressure. And then this raised intralabyrinthine pressure. Labyrinth is the term used for inner ear. So pressure in the external ear pushes the tympanic membrane and ossicles in the middle ear, and that pushing of the ossicles, it raised intralabyrinthine pressure, means the pressure in the inner ear. And this causes immobility of basilar membrane, immobility of the basilar membrane, and this causes decreased hearing. And this decreased hearing is the test finally performed for the Gelle's test. So Gelle's test is the test in which the pressure here, if we see again, increased pressure in external auditory canal with the help of speculum, and then this cause pressure, increased pressure in the inner ear, and this can cause decreased hearing. So that's the Gelle's test. So that was all about the clinical tests performed mostly with the help of the tuning fork and also with the help of watch and by the speech or voice. Thank you for watching sqadia.com.